Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Phoenix, Arizona, it's time for Phoenix Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Hello and welcome to Phoenix Business Radio, broadcasting live from the Max 6 Entrepreneurial Center right here in Tempe, Arizona, where we help build businesses and connect you with the right people. And I'm very excited today to introduce you to a new business in Chandler, Arizona, Opulent Aura Aesthetics. And we have founder and CEO Petra Santana with us in the studio today, and her daughter, Erica Medina, who is the co-owner as well. Welcome so much to the studio.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here.
I'm thrilled to have you here. And we have Shay with the brand honcho to thank for this opportunity. So we're always appreciative when someone says, ooh, I need to get my clients on Phoenix Business Radio. So thank you for that, Shay, who happens to be in the studio today. On that note, let's get started unraveling your story, letting the world know about the great work that you're doing. Who would like to start? Tell us who you are as an organization and a company, who you serve, and let's find out about the backstory.
So I can start.
Go
you want
for
me
it.
to start?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So I'm Erica. I'm an aesthetic injector. I've been an injector for a few years. And
What is an aesthetic injector?
So I do Botox fillers. I do body sculpting and other services like that help enhance the natural beauty of my clients. So I've been an injector for a few years, and I actually decided to branch out on my own and start a business with my mom, and therefore we started Opulent Aura Aesthetics.
And that's been not quite a year.
No, we started in October, so fairly new. We're super excited to get started. So
great. And the location is?
Go ahead. Sorry.
it's in Chandler, so it's off of Gilbert and Jermaine by the 202, and it's borderline Chandler Gilbert.
Okay. Petra, how about you? What's your background? How did you land in this great role?
Well, I currently have another business, completely different from Opulent Aura Aesthetics, but Erica, wanted to do her own, branch off, and I was like, hey, let's do this. Like, we can do this. So we partnered up. I do more of the business admin stuff on the back end. I have nothing to do with the injections, Botox, any of that, but I'm all for it. I'm here to support her. And, I just want to see her succeed.
So good. What a great dynamic duo. And as a business owner, right, it's hard to do all the different aspects of the business. So it's so great that you partnered up and you have your special wheelhouse and you have yours, and off you go to serve your clients best. Erica, tell us a little bit about your journey in life. What led you to wanting to have not only your own business, but also be is it an esthetician? What do I call it?
It's you can say nurse injector, aesthetic injector, whatever is easier. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think it would lead me to where I'm at now. But originally I knew that I wanted to own some type of business. And I actually wanted to go to medical school and be a doctor and have my own office. So I think it's crazy that now I ended up being a nurse injector and co-founding this business with my mom. But I originally wanted to do nursing, so I went to nursing school at ASU, and I graduated with my BSN, and I was a pediatric nurse for a few years. So, and then I kind of delve into the beauty industry, and mainly I was inspired by my mom for sure. So I delved into the beauty, kind of just looking into what an aesthetic nurse was, what it meant to be an injector, and what it all entailed. So I started looking into it, and I ended up starting at a corporate job and learning the trade through them, and then just gaining experience as I went, and I fell in love with it. I think just the fact that I get to boost people's confidence and have those intimate conversations with my clients meant the world. Just because growing up, I struggled with acne, and then young adulthood, I still deal with acne. So being able to just do a little bit of enhancements just to boost that confidence and have them walk out of the door and just feel so much better meant the world to me. So I was like, I definitely want to do this lifelong and be able to offer more for my clients. And I think by joining forces with my mom, I'm able to offer more than just what I was trained to do.
Well, and you own your own business.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do it for somebody else, but to really have it be something that's yours and you can create a legacy and maybe a book of business to sell someday is dynamite. What are you noticing, Petra, in the time that you two have been, coming up with this idea and working on, and now actively the doors are open and you have clients? What are you noticing about Erica in this role that she's playing on behalf of the business?
As a mother, it's so beautiful to see her have that passion and the excitement she gets behind it. Like, just it's amazing. It's beautiful. And I know I'm doing the right thing. And I love that for her. And I'm here to see her succeed. I want to see her grow within her, passion. And it's beautiful.
I love it. And you mentioned that your other business, do you do the same role in that other business as well? Or is this kind of a new venture for you too?
So I am in the beauty as well. So I actually have another business. It's called Fixation Beauty, and we focus more on lashes.
Oh.
And that does have a background to it as well. So I kind of started there, but I also work in the medical field, and I've been in the medical field for over 25 years. And I recently went through some health issues that kind of took me back, and I was at home. And that's kind of how it started. So I went into the beauty, which is completely different from healthcare. And I started there at the same time. Erica was already doing, working for another company doing, injections, Botox and all that.
Yeah.
And just seeing her, some of the things that she wished was different.
You're listening. You're like, oh, we could fix that. We could fix that.
Yes. And then one day she came home and she was just so frustrated. And I was like, Erica, we can do this. Let's partner up. Let's do it. And she was like, Mom, but I'm not ready. And she would come up with so many excuses. And I was like, Erica, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to be ready.
So true.
Let's just do it. And next thing we know, we're like, oh my God, we're doing this. So yeah, this is where we're at now.
Yeah, let me tell you, I would not be able to do it with the support of her, just because I'm one that will sit on things for a while and really analyze the pros and cons of everything. And she's very much like, we're doing it, let's do it. And so I think because of her, we were able to start this, and it's been beautiful so far.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll ever be ready. You're always going to run into challenges, and you're going to learn from those. And Erica is more of, I have to see it in black and white. I have to see step 1, step 2, step 3. And I'm like, Erica, it's not always like that in life. It's not always like that. You can plan it, but you're going to run into issues, and you're going to have to learn to address the issues in order to get to step 2. So stop thinking about it and going back and forth. Let's just do it. And she was like, okay, Mom, let's do it.
But so far, I've been loving it. I feel like with Opulent Aura Aesthetics, we're able to really, I'm able to drive the wheel and just figure out what works for my clients and build that intimate relationship. That's what I value the most, is that I get to have those intimate conversations and follow up with my clients and build that long-term relationship. That's what I am wishing for, to just have a long-term relationship with my clients and do subtle differences that will make them feel confident and want to come back again. And I think that I'm able to do that. And also, we're Hispanic, so we speak Spanish. And I feel like I'm able to accommodate my Spanish-speaking clients in terms of speaking to them in Spanish, providing instructions in Spanish. And so that's a huge plus, because working for somebody else, I'm kind of limited to what they're offering. But now that we have our own business, I'm like, we need to do this and this and this to accommodate a specific population. So I love that.
The lid just popped off for the creativity for both of you.
Yeah.
I can imagine it's just going to keep on happening. So the beauty industry is ever changing. It's also a hard industry to enter into and cut into, whether it's lashes or something like this, or even Absolutely. A nail salon, doesn't matter, or a beauty product. How are you keeping up with that? And how does that feed then into the business itself?
That's a good question. That's something we're constantly, social media is a huge play.
Mm-hmm.
We, try to stay with the trends, networking, continuing education. There's so much that goes into it. Erica, for her, it's all a learning process. And I know she has kind of struggled, oh my God, what do I do here? And But I love how she right away snaps into it and she's like, oh yeah, we got to do this. And she figures it out. What are some of the challenges, Erica?
Yeah, I think in the aesthetic industry, it's ever evolving and things are constantly changing. And what you used to do 5 years ago doesn't work anymore. So I'm trying to stay up to date with what's going on social media, huge influencers, but I don't feel like that's all that matters. I think more so keeping up with education and there's a lot of aesthetic courses that you can take to keep up with the safety nets and just like what works currently. So I constantly look for things like that, and we're investing a lot of money in my education because I think it's important to stay up to date with what's going on and what's safe. So more so I look for the things that continue to make me a safe injector and be able to provide good quality services. And in terms of the trends, I do keep up with them, and just so that I know, because clients will come to me and say like, oh, I want the Russian lip technique, and can you do that? And it's like I have to educate them a little bit about the technique or why I think it's beneficial or not beneficial. So when it comes to trends, I do keep up for those reasons. But ultimately, my goal is to keep up with education and ensure that I'm providing safe, good quality services for my clients that enhance their natural beauty. I'm not trying to alter their appearance completely and, just inject them with a whole bunch of filler or freeze them up completely. I just want to make sure that whatever concern they have, I'm addressing it and providing subtle differences that boost their confidence. So that's what I look for.
I would imagine it helps for both of you having been in the medical industry before you really understand the nuances, the safety, a lot of those aspects as well. So that's great. And really even just your own personal journeys, right? Petra, you mentioned that you have had experienced a health journey recently and which kind of led to this. That's got to really be beneficial for you as you talk to and connect with clients and really help them feel full and who they are, in addition to feeling great in their own skin. How, in the midst of all of this, then, do the two of you keep yourself in balance and check with, self-care and wellness practices? I know what it's like to start a business. Are you finding that you've got a decent balance, and how do you achieve that?
For me, the best thing is I still work full time in the healthcare. I run my own business and I, run the other business with Erica's. And then I still have my kids at home. So I'm super busy. I'm constantly on the go, 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 go. That the only way I find time to myself and kind of give me that space to just get away from everything and a new start is I leave out of town once a month. I'll fly out to California. I'll go out, get my hair done, get my nails done. I'll get a massage. I'll meet up with my best friend, family members out there. We're originally from California. So that's my weekend getaway. I go away, I come back, and I'm ready to take the new week on. And that's the way I take care of finding time for myself. I know Erica has a different approach.
Yeah, so she's been in the business industry a little bit longer, so I'm still learning how to incorporate self-care. But I really do like working out and trying. I'm not like a huge gym guru, but I definitely like to just go work out for 30 to 45 minutes 3 times per week, and that is my little de-stress getaway self-care moment. Along with, I have a 2.5-year-old, so I'm constantly like busy with him. So I think times when we just get away as a family, even if it's just a small one-day getaway to Flagstaff, like I really enjoy that. And I'm realizing that I have to just break away from the business sometimes and just say, you know what, I'm leaving my business phone home. I'm going to go get away. So I'm still learning, but those are the little things that I do to incorporate to promote self-care for myself.
You both have hit the highlights. It's so important to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, not only as business owners, also moms and just family members and a good friend. Years ago, before opening Phoenix Business Radio, I co-owned a social media company, and I was brought on as the COO to grow it, to sell it. And we thought that was going to be about a 3 to 4 year plan. A year and a half, we had grown so quickly and so rapidly that it was time to sell. We had people looking at it. However, what it meant was it cost me my health. I was living in Chandler at the time. I drove to Anthem, so that's an hour there and back, working ungodly hours. Was having some pain and didn't know what it was. They were checking out, thought it was cancer, and I ended up in the hospital with an emergency hysterectomy and appendectomy.
Oh, wow.
That's been, again, about 7-8 years. I will never sell my soul to a business again, whether and I was working for myself then, working for myself now, but that self-care, no matter, to your point, Petra, no matter how we take care of ourselves, how we eat, how we think, how we sleep, how we retreat, how we find respite, those are so critical. So thank you both for highlighting what you're doing, and even to your point, Erica, that you're a fairly new mom and certainly a new business owner, and it's not always easy. I can tell you on this end of things, gosh, if I had knew then to do it differently, I would have. I say that. I was a workaholic. I don't think I would have done it differently. I think I had to have that experience to now say at 59, like, okay, we're just going to keep doing things differently.
And, and sometimes I consider myself a workaholic. And Erica
I
can
agree.
definitely agree with me on that. I was always on the go, go, go. I lived to work. Okay. Until I had this experience, this medical health experience that took me down. And I realized, oh my God, you need to find time for yourself.
Yes.
You cannot live life working so hard. You have to find time for yourself. And that's when I realized how important self-care was. But yeah, it's hard. It's, being a workaholic is hard, and you have to learn to say no. You got to give yourself time.
Yeah.
So.
And I think watching her be a workaholic, I try my hardest to not go in that direction. Like I understand the value of work and I admire her for that, but I think that's helped me a little bit in terms of just prioritizing myself. And then also because we have Opulent Aura Aesthetics, that we're constantly encouraging people to do self-care and to take care of themselves. Because of that, I'm like, I need to practice what I preach. Like,
Sure.
So I feel like self-care is hard, especially when you have a business. And thankfully I have my mom to kind of help me out and balance everything, but I'm able to incorporate it because of the things that I've experienced and seen.
Yeah, it's one thing to be beautiful on the outside, right? I think most of us strive for that. That really is just that next layer beyond the internal beauty. And we can only have that internal beauty. And maybe you'll tell me differently. You'll be like, and Karen's done.
No, you're absolutely right.
But we have to feel good in our skin.
Yes.
And not only is that getting some of the treatments and taking care of our skin and, makeup and the way we carry ourselves and all that. And at the same time, we've got to be healthy.
Yes.
From the inside out.
And with aesthetics, with Botox and filler, it's, yes, on the outside, it might make you look more beautiful or feel more beautiful, but it really is more about how you feel and that boost of confidence that you get from the services. That's what I love the most, is just that feeling of just walking out and feeling and looking better, more so than just looking better to everybody else.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh, that's the key. How do I feel when I look in the mirror versus how do I feel when someone else is looking at me and complimenting me or not complimenting? I think once we get it like, oh, yeah, I'm the one that really matters, then we're winning. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you've experienced as you've opened the business. We've covered a handful of them, but is there anything else that for our listeners, especially moms and folks who may be considering their own business, specifically in the beauty industry, what have you experienced that you'd be willing to share, and have you overcome it?
I think just, putting our business out there, letting people know who we are, what services we offer is one. As business partners, I think the hardest is, keeping the mother-daughter separated from business partner. That's been one of the biggest challenges. At the end of the day, she's my baby girl, and I'm always going to want to, make sure she's making the right move, doing the right step. But sometimes I have to learn to just let her fall and get back up. I can't sit there and baby her. And I think that's probably been one of my biggest challenges, is watching her make these moves and afraid that she'll fall. And I just need to learn to kind of sit back and let her do her thing, because she's 100% capable of it. 100% capable of it. It's just that mother, intuition, like, oh, you got to make sure she doesn't fall. You got to make sure she takes the right step. So I think for me, that's been one of the biggest challenges. And then for the business is just getting the business out there, since, and it's a competitive world as well. It's a competitive world.
Oversaturated.
So, yeah. So.
And with that being said, I feel like for me, as an aesthetic injector, is being taken seriously, because I have always worked under somebody else and just kind of relied on them to bring clients and showcase my work. Now I'm having to showcase it myself and show my potential clients / patients what I'm capable of and what I can offer them. So I think it's getting taken seriously and having people trust me as an injector. And I'm new to the industry in people's eyes, so that's been a challenge. And also because it is so competitive and saturated, is learning, how do I stand out? How do I put myself out there so that people know, like, I'm different, or this is what I can offer differently? So those things. And from a business perspective, working with my mom, yeah, I'm very emotional. I'm like the complete opposite of her. So I try my hardest not to, but I constantly bring in the emotions when it comes to trying to make decisions together. And she's always like, you need to put your emotions aside. Like, I try to talk to her as the CEO and not my mom, but it's hard for me to hold back my tears sometimes.
Oh, you and I would get along just beautifully.
But I'm just so passionate. So I'm like, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. But again, what a great dynamic. You both bring such love and joy for each other. And of course, the beauty industry and what you're doing into this business, and this really, I'll call it a mature way in which you interact with each other. I don't have a mom in my life. I haven't since I was about 12 years old. My dad is the one who raised us. And I've always looked at women, the mother-daughter pairs. I was a Mary Kay director years and years and years ago. And I used to watch the women who are in business with each other, the sisters and the mother. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. I do have a beautiful daughter who's 27. She's one of my best friends.
That's awesome.
She's got her own corporate career. And so I've been able to look at women like you and say, okay, this is a healthy, mature relationship. And I'm grateful that the two of you have been able to come and share your story with us today. Let's talk a little bit about the marketing piece that you alluded to, Petra, and how that's been challenging. I know Shay is here and has been a support for you in this, which is great. Is there something, a certain specific social media approach, or something that you're doing newsletter-wise? What has worked for you, and has it been fun, or has it been a little bit of pulling teeth along the way?
I think marketing is definitely very challenging. It's probably been one of my biggest struggles. Again, I probably couldn't have done it without Shay, but the marketing is always changing. Yes. It's always changing. And what was working 2 weeks ago is currently not working anymore. So you have to continue again, taking all these new courses, learning the new trends for marketing. Shay has played a huge role in helping us. Social media is huge. When I started the business with Erica was not, she was not convinced that social media was a huge.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Like I knew the value of it, but I wasn't as proactive on it because I didn't have to worry about that.
And I think that's kind of where we would kind of bump heads at the very beginning, because I was like, no, Erica, like, you don't understand. Social media is huge.
Especially for the beauty industry.
It's like free marketing. Like, you have to. And she would, and it's not only social media, like, oh, it's social media. I have an IG account. I have TikTok. There has to be an aesthetic approach to it. Okay. And Erica was like, okay, well, I created this video. I'm going to upload this. And
she was like, so harsh on me, by the way.
I'm like, no, that is not, we are not posting that. That is not fly. Absolutely not.
And I'm like, but it's my page.
I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Delete that, or we are not posting that. So social media is definitely a huge part of marketing. And we solely rely on that. And again, we do, Shay has been very helpful with, helping us with articles and newsletters and, and even bringing us here today. But yeah, marketing it's
a
rough.
beast. It's a beast.
It's rough. I will say that.
And there's been a couple things that we've tried with Opulent Aura Aesthetics that just didn't work for us. And we tried it and we learned from it
and mind you, let me just say this, okay? Those approaches, Erica has been more like, I don't want to go that route. Let's do this. And I'm like, baby girl, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And she's like, no, but I just want to give it a try. And I'm like, so I've learned to kind of step back and give her what she wants. And then she sees it doesn't work. And then she's like, okay, so what were you saying? How should we do this? And I'm like, I told you so. I told you.
But again, it goes to like, we're learning that we need to separate roles sometimes. Yeah. And I want to put my 2 cents. And she's like, well, I'm handling this part of the business and you're handling that. And me learning to step back and say, okay, I got to trust my mom. She knows what she's doing. She's been in the industry longer. Like, I'll just worry about the treatments and about things. So differentiating roles has been the hardest of like running a business together, but we're getting there and we're learning. So, and we're really new. I mean, we started in October and I think we're doing pretty great so far.
Yeah. So talk to us about the services you offer again, right? So for our listeners, what services do you offer? What's it like to be a customer or a client the first time? Is it men or women and men? Give us a little bit about the business itself.
Yeah. So we cater to both men and women, and we're all about just enhancing the natural beauty and boosting confidence. So currently we offer Botox, and Botox, we can inject it in multiple areas. I always have my clients address their main area of concern, and I let them know what service fits them best. So we offer Botox, we offer filler that helps add volume and hydration to certain areas. And then we're also offering body sculpting. And then we have medical grade skincare like Skin Better Science, which is really a really great product line. So we offer all of that. We are hoping to expand and offer more services. But because we are fairly new, we're starting slow. But the most important thing is like I offer free consultations because I want my clients to sit down and have that conversation with me and have that relationship and kind of express to me what they want before even going forward with any service. Again, there's been clients that have had the services, so they know exactly what they want, but consultations is key, and that's why we offer free consultations.
But I think free consultations is still good even for new clients to us. If a client has had, Botox, fillers done somewhere else and they're new to us, it's great to have that free consultation. Get to know your injector. Get to know whether if you feel comfortable, with her services, her recommendations. Like I still think even if you have Botox in the past, it's still important to come in for that free consultation, get to meet your injector. Mm-hmm. And the other thing we also like to offer, especially for new clients, is you're coming to a new injector. Your injector is getting to know your anatomy. You're getting to know your injector. You guys may not nail it the first visit, and she may treat the areas that the client was having concerns. And 2 weeks later, she'll realize like, okay, well, it did treat this area, but now I'm concerned about this area. And that's why we offered that follow-up, 2 weeks follow-up with your injector, so you guys can address those issues, because sometimes you're not going to nail it on the first visit. And it's part of establishing that relationship with your injector.
I was just going to say that's what I'm hearing that's running through the way in which you are building your business. It's a relationship. You're caring deeply for your clientele, finding out specifically what they need, bringing your expertise into that conversation. Maybe they've heard about something that something worked for somebody else. And you're like, I think I know enough about your skin and your body to recommend this instead, right? Yeah. I love that. In addition to building trust between the two of you, that's the other thing. There's a very strong relationship there, and I can see how that transfers over to your clientele. It's very, very, very exciting. Tell us again the crossroads and what does it take to become a client? So the first opportunity is to schedule a consultation?
Yeah, so we have free consultations available, but any client can go on our website. It's www.opulentauraesthetics.com, and they can book an appointment with me for if they already have a service in mind. I always incorporate consultations within the actual appointment, so they don't have to just book for a consultation to get in to see me. They can book for the service that they're interested in, and then I always start my appointments with consultations before I even treat. So they can go on the website and book. And then from there we have a meeting, and then we kind of discuss what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve. So but yeah, and we're located off of Germain and Gilbert Road by the 202. It's between Gilbert and Chandler City.
And hours of operation, is it by appointment only then?
By appointment only, yes.
So exciting. And on Instagram, is there any other social media platform, or is that really where your sweet spot is?
Erica's huge on TikTok, so you will find Erica more on TikTok. I'm more on Instagram. We also have Facebook as well. But those are our three main platforms at the moment.
And the handles are all the same, Opulent Aura Aesthetics.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness, so good. Petra, you mentioned you have more kiddos than just Erica.
I do. So I am a mother of 5. Erica being the oldest, and then I have a son. He's in his mid-20s as well, and then I have 3 little ones. Well, not so little. I have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So those 3 keep me busy. Okay.
I believe that. I've got one 16-year-old left at home and a 29 and 27-year-old out on their own. And I hear you. And so, I've only got one left.
So I tell everybody I'm a mother of 5, but it feels like I'm only a mother of 3 because I got 2 that are out and it's just the 3 little ones. But yeah, those 3 little ones, they keep me busy. Absolutely.
Yes. Between working full time and this business and your other business.
Yes.
You are a champion. You win the award for being the champion today. This has been just a great pleasure. And as we wind down, I would love to know from each of you, aside from each other, because I'm sensing that unless you really say, Karen, that's the only person for me. Who has influenced you the most in your life towards leadership and really even either leadership, the career that you entered in, as into the medical industry, or even beauty? So it doesn't matter, but who comes to mind when I ask you that? Who has been influential for you? Maybe it's been somebody that you don't even know, a book you read, somebody you've seen on social media, or somebody in your life. But I'd love for you to stretch beyond, pointing out each other.
I obviously immediately think of my mom as inspiration, but in the aesthetic world recently, Skylar Soares, she has her own practice in Scottsdale, and she's actually been somebody that I idolize and have trained with. So she's definitely somebody that I look up to in terms of how she runs her practice, and I've learned a lot from her. So I incorporate that in Opulent Aura Aesthetics. So she's one that I can definitely think of, along with other huge injectors that I aspire to be and learn from. But from an aesthetic world, that's definitely who comes to mind.
I love that. Yeah. And is there anything else that you'd add about mom you said mom first came to mind. Is there anything else that you hadn't shared previously about your, just how you've looked up to your mom?
Yeah, I think it's for her, the way that I look up to her is in terms of her work ethics and her beauty, like how she carries herself. I've always admired that. So those are 2 different things that I definitely look up to.
And for me, that's a good question. I mean, just growing up, my parents, they were workaholics. I got into the medical field because back then, that's where the money was at, right? And so I started as a medical assistant, and the provider that I worked for, he believed in me, and he was like, you can do better than this. You need to go back to school. You need to do this. And I did. And he took me in like his baby. He taught me pretty much everything I know as far as the field I'm in, and I'm grateful for that. But deep inside, I've always had a passion for beauty. Always. But growing up, that's not where the money was at. Again, it was all in the medical field. And I've always had a passion for beauty. I've always, outside my scrubs, I've always tried to keep up with beauty trends. And one day I was like, it's now or never. So I decided to, start my beauty business, and this is where I'm at. And as far as who I look up to, there's so many beauty influencers out there that it's so hard to just pick one. You kind of get a little bit from one and others, and you kind of bring it into, what fits your personality. And I think beauty, it's not a standard like, oh, this is the beauty trend, everybody has to follow this. No, what works for me may not work for somebody else.
Right.
And I think that's where you have to learn that beauty standards is not one size fits all.
Totally
I love
agree.
that.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
She said it perfectly.
Beautifully said. It's funny. My daughter, who's the 27-year-old, I don't think I had ever even painted my toenails or my fingernails until she was about 4 years old. And she was the catalyst for me. Then I became a Mary Kay director for a very short stint in my life. And it was my first introduction in my early 30s to, makeup does make a difference. And it matters the way I carry myself and the way I style my hair. And I really have always looked to my daughter as my inspiration to step into my beauty and be able to feel attractive and sensual and all that. So I love hearing that it's something that's been a passion for you for a very long time, and how you've aspired to have that in your life with your mom as well.
Yeah, and I think we do very well in incorporating the very glamorous look, because she's into being more glamorous and I'm more into the natural beauty. So we blend it very well. And I think that's why we're able to broaden our population, like whoever is interested in our services, because we offer a mix of both. So
I love it. For our Spanish speaking audience, is there something that you'd like to, I'm thinking more snippet wise, maybe not necessarily in this interview, but is there a little shout out you'd like to give on behalf of your Spanish speaking clients that, and encourage them to come and spend time with you?
Yeah. Do you want to, since you're Spanish?
This was, I dropped this in their lap, so you don't have to, but I thought since we've got it right here, it'd be fun, but you don't have to.
I feel that a lot of older Spanish speaking women tend to shy away from the beauty industry. One, because it's their confidence, it's the way they were raised, and there's a language barrier.
Yes.
So I feel that sometimes, the older Spanish speaking women, will tend to kind of stay away from it. And you shouldn't.
Right.
Like it, one day, here's an example. My mom, she is in her late, or actually early 70s. 2 years ago, we went to Hawaii. And she had just turned 70. And she had never since we were growing up, never did any type of makeup. She was just a workaholic. Yes, she would put on her dress to go to church or when we went out. But other than makeup, no, never. So that day we decided to put makeup on her. And oh my God, seeing her cry because her confidence and the fact that it was us giving her that boost, it was such a beautiful moment. And it made me think like, oh my God, how many Hispanic women in that age group, don't get to express this or have something like this. And I think it's very important that, our, Hispanic community, knows that we're here and we're bilingual, and you don't have to get all full glam. It's just a small touch gives you that boost of confidence. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and that they feel welcome. So I don't know if you want me to say something in Spanish. So para toda la gente que habla español, en Opulent Aura Aesthetics hablamos español y podemos darles servicios de Botox y filler. Si quieren venir a visitarlos, estamos en Chandler, Arizona.
I just wanted to hear you speak Spanish. Selfishly. No. I just kind of lobbed that question at you. Typically, right? we have a handful of questions and topics we know we're going to cover.
Yeah.
I'm always listening for the deeper story.
Yeah.
And thank you, because you just both have answered that so beautifully on behalf of that part of your clientele. And what an incredible story. Your mom was 70?
70.
And it brought her to tears.
It brought her
Why
to tears.
would we wait that long? We just do, for it. What a great testimony to stepping out of your comfort zone, which really, Erica, is what you've been doing with this business.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so keep on doing that. Well, it has been a pleasure to get to know you. Again, we have Erica and Petra in the studio with Opulent Aura Aesthetics in Chandler. In our show notes, of course, we'll have the links to the social media and the website. And just make sure you reach out and send business their way. Thank you again for joining us today. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. You've been listening to Phoenix Business Radio, broadcasting live from the Max 6 Entrepreneurial Center right here in Tempe, Arizona, where we help build businesses and connect you with the right people. Some media leans left, some lean right, and we lean beauty. Until next time, I'm Karen Nowicki. Thanks for listening.